Hi, this quick reference video is all about outsourcing an embellishment, whether it's screen printing, embroidery, heat press, no matter what the type is. There is a way to set it up as an outsourced embellishment. So I have a quick invoice that I created here. As you can see, I've got a t-shirt here, and then I've got a screen print price matrix that I used. And as you can see right here, I've set it up to where I can tell that it says it's an outsourced screen print price list, and it's going to be outsourcing to Acme. By the way, you can click on this to change it, but you do have to be in edit mode. So let's go ahead and go into edit order. And I'll show you how we can now click that drop down to change that price list, whether you want to change it to another vendor to outsource it to, or you want to say, hey, I want to do this now in-house. So going into edit mode, you can change that. Okay, I have a couple of things that I want to point out right off the bat. So number one, the matrix, the price matrix is what dictates whether it's being outsourced or not. So this was the screen print price list that I used for this order, and it's set up automatically to outsource to Acme. Now, when I set up this screen print price list, I put in the screen charges, but I didn't actually set those up to outsource to Acme as well. So if I look over here on this little icon right here, I hope you can see it because it's super small, but it's a little box, and this is all about purchasing. I hope you can see that on this box, it's got a $sign in it, and if I click on it, it's set to say, hey, we're going to purchase these goods, and they're going to be outsourced to Acme Screen Print. If I click on the screen charge line and click on that little box icon, it says don't outsource. So I've already changed it in the price list, but I now need to change it in this order as well. So I'm going to click on the purchase option, and I'll click the drop down, and I'll put it on Acme Screen Print and then hit save. So now you'll see the little $sign image in there, and it's being outsourced now to Acme Screen Print. All right, let's talk about this outsourced art. We may do art in-house, and we may do art that's outsourced to Acme. Or there's a third option. We may outsource the art to a completely different company. So if you need to change that for some reason, again, you're in edit mode, you can click on the little box. And as you can see, I've got mine to outsource, but it's going to a company called Digital Art Supply. And if I want to change this, maybe I called and spoke with Acme and we struck a deal and I want to change it now to Acme, I can. So again, I have to be in edit mode and then I can swap that out. Or maybe I want to change this to say, hey, we're going to do this in-house. So I'm going to click on don't outsource and then hit save. It's probably best not to do it this way. I would probably, because this is still going to say outsourced art, which by the way, your customer does not see. They're not going to see outsourced screen. They're not going to see outsourced art. So let me prove that to you real quick. I'm going to go into the customer view. And they're just going to see the screen print price list, and they're going to see the t-shirt here with the amortized amount in it. So they're not going to see it whether you go into the customer view or even when you print the invoice. They're not going to see it. They're just going to see the shirt line, and they're going to see the screen print line and what the total amount is. So I just wanted to make sure you understood that. So let's get back to the art charge. If I'm not outsourcing it, I probably don't want this to say out art, because then somebody on my team, my production team, is going to say, oh, we're outsourcing it. They're not going to look that this says don't purchase. They're just going to see, oh, hey, we're outsourcing it. So I would probably delete this art and then go add another additional charge. And sorry, I need to do that from here. I need to do the additional charge that is for in-house. And so I would add that line. Okay, so we're done in here. I'm going to click the done button, and I've got everything the way that I need it here. The screen printing's getting outsourced, the screen charge is getting outsourced, and the artwork is going to be done in-house. But I want to go back to what I said a minute ago, where I said the price matrix is what's dictating whether or not it's being outsourced or not. So we're going to jump over here to the price matrices, and I've got it filtered just by screen print price list. And here's my outsourced price list to Acme. I've got an artwork charge here, which is for doing art internally, and this does not come in by default. And then I've got an outsourced art that I went in and I changed it because it wasn't outsourcing to Acme. So I went in and changed it, and it's all set up perfectly now. And same thing, I didn't have the screen charge being outsourced, and so I went in and I changed that as well. So as long as those things are set up correctly, the next time I use this price list, it'll come in perfectly. And again, if I want to swap out the outsourced art for the internally done art, I can do that. But by default, I more than not outsource the artwork. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that the price list is what drives whether or not it's being outsourced or not. Okay, let's jump back to our order. And I just want you to make a note of that this is 10,178. So let's go to the job board. And I want you to notice something here. If I click on the drop down next to new order and say create purchase orders, nowhere does my Acme outsourced PO come up in any manner. And it will never come up in the consolidated. So let's go find our job, our 10,178, and let's click on the action button there, and let's go to create PO. Now we see the Acme screen print purchase order. And we can see that it's ready to have one screen made, and it's ready to have 5 pieces imprinted. And then all I have to do is click on this and create the order, and I can send this off to my outsourced screen printer. So here's my purchase order. I can hit the send button, and I can either email this. I can go in and I can do a print preview and email it right off to him, or I can use the send email link that will go to my my outsourced vendor here, and I can just hit send here. So now I've generated the purchase order, I've sent it, it's now going to be updated on the job board. So let's scroll down here. So here on goods ordered, you can see that we've got everything done. So because I've done the purchase order for the goods and I've done the purchase order for the outsourced screen printing, everything's done now. I hope this helps, and just as a point of note, you'll receive things in as you normally would do. Obviously, you're not going to receive in the completed goods until you physically get them back from the screen printer. Certainly, you're going to receive in the Sanmar goods when they come in, or you're not taking them in. When the outsourced screen printer gets them in, you can actually mark them as received in. And then when you get the goods back from the screen printer, that's when you would open this PO and receive those goods in. So I hope this clears up some questions that you may have had about outsourcing POs. Thanks so much for watching.